Hello, everyone. I hope you guys have been doing well this week. We have had some busy stuff going on over here in our neck of the woods, but I'm happy to be here doing this reading for you guys today. I'm actually kind of excited because I have this deck right here, which I was thrilled to get. It is the Dark Crystal deck. And I don't know if you've seen the Dark Crystal or not, but it was a favorite of mine when I was growing up as a kid. Now, Netflix went in and redid this show and made it a series, which I actually have not watched yet. I do want to watch it at some point in time, but I've never gone in and actually watched the new Netflix version. But the old version, the original version, was a huge favorite of mine when I was a kid. And what I didn't realize at the time is how spiritual the meaning behind this kids show was. It's kind of a puppet show. Not like what you'd think of as like a puppet show, but like it almost looked like it was all animated through. It looks like it's real, but it's not. Almost like the same way like a claymation can kind of look real, but it's not. It's so good. The meaning, the spiritual depth and meaning behind this show is pretty incredible. Now that I've gone through a spiritual awakening and I can kind of see the true meaning behind it. So it's kind of funny that it was a favorite of mine when I was a kid. But anyway, I'm thrilled to be using this deck with you guys today. And if you guys have seen the Dark Crystal, either the first version or even the second, and you guys know what I'm talking about, leave me a comment below. If you haven't, I really recommend it. But I'd recommend watching the old version first. And that's only because, that's the one that I'm familiar with. And that's the one that I know has all that deep esoteric knowledge within it. I don't know for sure if it was changed for the Netflix series or not. So I do need to go in and watch that. But I hope you guys have been doing well. The artwork on this is beautiful. Hopefully all things are going well in your world, that you guys are feeling good and that you're getting out of that dark night of the soul energy. Hopefully you're getting the communication and the knowledge through source and spirit that you need in order to be able to kind of move your way through this crazy twin flame connection that you've got going on, right? This twin flame connection is no joke, as anyone who's been through it knows. Now, it's funny, I was talking to somebody the other day, and I was telling them that, you can spot when somebody has met their twin flame or has gone through an awakening. Really, it's you can spot when someone's gone through an awakening, right? Because that's what the twin flame journey is. It's an awakening when you've gone through one. But if you haven't gone through one, even if you know about it, you still can't really spot it because you don't know what you're looking for, right? You can't know what you don't know. And so, just like, if I've never experienced, certain things, then I'm not going to, like say death, right? Like if I've never experienced a tragic death in my life from someone who I love dearly, I can't really know and relate and understand to in its entirety the suffering that somebody else would be going through. It's the same thing with the twin flame journey. Once you've gone through it, you have a deeper understanding of things that people who haven't gone through it, I better move that over, of the, people who haven't gone through it, they won't recognize what you recognize. They won't know what you know. And that's part of what makes the journey kind of difficult, is because this type of, awakening, especially from having met your twin flame, isn't super common. It seems more common now with the internet being what it is, and, people can communicate that they've been through this kind of awakening, and they can network and kind of like what we're doing here, reach out and connect with others that have been through it. But it hasn't always been that way. People didn't have people that they could reach out to. The internet didn't even exist. And so oftentimes in the past, twin flames, they did this all on their own. There weren't books, there weren't places to go to find guidance or help. They had to kind of figure that out on their own. And, there's beauty in that. And this journey kind of still provides that same template. You really have a hard time, even, when you meet other people, because everyone's journey is so unique, you won't fully resonate with anybody else. And that's because it's meant to be that way to kind of cause you to go within to seek and find your answers. But I don't know that it's necessarily that there's more twin flames that are awakening now than there has been in the past, other than maybe the fact that there's more people on the planet now that, exist simultaneously. And so there's more people seemingly that are meeting their twin flames. And that, coupled along with the fact that we can reach out through the means of the internet and connect with each other, gives us, kind of maybe the illusion that there's more people meeting their twin flames. I don't know that that's actually true. I mean, of course, there's no way to prove that. We don't know. But twin flames have been around for a very, very long time, nonetheless. And you are most definitely going through this twin flame journey. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this a little tiny bit. It's just a little crooked, so I apologize. It's kind of cutting off the bottom of the cards, but we'll be picking them up, so you'll see them soon enough. I'm going to get you guys a numerology number. 4 and 2. 42, you could look at it as 6, or also 24. And at the bottom of the deck today, we have 5. Oh, hold on one sec here. So just to give you guys a quick understanding of this deck, because it's a little bit different. These are shards right here, and the shards are representative of wands, okay? And then we also have vials here, which are representative of cups. And then we have gems, which are representative of pentacles. And then stones right here are representative of swords, okay? So it's a little bit different than what you typically see, but it still has the same meaning behind them. So I just wanted to clarify that for you guys, because I noticed that right as I was about to go into this. And again, this is my first time using this deck, so I wanted to get that clarity before we move on here. So at the bottom of the deck, we have 5 of swords. Okay. So with 5 of swords being sort of the overall, feeling of this reading today, there's probably some pretty major stuff going on in yours or divine masculine's life. There is some trauma that has to be looked at and is possibly even being endured through right now through current circumstances. Your divine masculine might be in a fairly abusive relationship. It's toxic at the very least, but to a pretty high level of toxicity. You may be experiencing some of this too. Now, these things could also be things that have been experienced in the past, but that are still having an extraordinarily relevant consequence on experiences in the current period of time that your divine masculine and you are, going through. And this could be one of you or both of you that have these types of issues that are really, really affecting, the way that life seems to be being experienced and showing up for both of you. And it is going to have an impact on how the two of you relate with each other and to other people in your lives. But it's going to have this energy right here will have had a big impact on how the two of you have connected and even repelled at certain points in time. This is the type of energy that affects that ebb and flow and the push-pull of the twin flame relationship. So in recent past here, we have 10 of Pentacles. So your divine masculine has been very, very focused on kind of leaving something behind that's meaningful. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a legacy of wealth on a financial level, but it could be something more of, that they want to leave something behind that's left a mark in this world that shows that their life had relevance and meaning. And underneath it, whether they've stated this out loud or not, underneath a lot of the actions that they are taking, this is the energy behind it. So if certain things sometimes seem like they don't make sense as you're kind of witnessing your divine masculine's, choices and actions, it might be because, like, kind of look at that and see, is there an underlying, factor of wanting to leave something important behind or making a difference that is causing them to act and behave this way. Maybe finding the root cause of what that is might help to understand a little bit more of why your divine masculine does what they do. And that will help you sometimes in using that as a reflection where you can relate that back to you and your journey. Now, in recent past, in their karmic situation, we have two upright cards here. We have the Magician and we have Temperance. So the relationship that they've been involved in the past and what they've been kind of looking for. I don't know whether your divine masculine is in a situation currently with somebody else or if they are single, how many solid relationships they've had. But the feeling that I'm getting from these cards is more about intention toward a relationship rather than the way the relationship has been showing up for them. I'm getting a strong feeling that this is your divine masculine's energy as far as how they perceive a relationship and what their goals are toward the relationship. And this, interestingly, I've never had it show up in all the tarot readings I've done. I've never had it show up with this type of impression that I'm getting before. Which, even though we're talking about the karmic situation for your divine masculine, I feel that there is this overlay of this also applies to you because of how they've perceived and viewed the relationship with you. So the feelings that they have toward what it is that they want and desire from a relationship and the actions that they take toward dealing with everything that has to do with the relationship is because, and I'm getting a strong connection to both of these cards, because of how they want to leave a legacy of something behind. So the relationships or the partners that they choose to experience life with are extremely important and relevant to that. And they really recognize that. And then also, there's a lot of trauma that your divine masculine has been experiencing throughout their life and possibly in the relationship that they're in right now, which, because it's a karmic relationship, there's probably things that need to be looked at and resolved. That's what karmic relationships do. They help us to resolve, subconscious patterns and things like that in the 3D world. So their approach, whether they're dealing currently with a toxic partner or because they've had them in the past, is through these two cards, which is turning vision. They've actually got a pretty dang interesting and positive perspective toward like alchemy, but they're not calling it alchemy. They're seeing it more as practical, moral belief systems. But it really is inner alchemy. They're turning their vision of what they want. They're trying to affect reality like kind of an as within, so without way. Not taking things too personally, having patience, self-control, moderation. They're working toward balance and harmony. And so the karmic situations that they've dealt with, interestingly, whether they're coming in positively or negatively, supportive or destructive, are all happening to help your divine masculine achieve these goals. Because you've heard me say at different times, the universe is a mirror. So sometimes it gives us what we need before it can give us what we want, because it needs to put us in alignment with what we want. And so outside circumstances in the 3D world show up for us to help us resolve inner issues that are keeping us out of alignment with what we truly want. So the universe is giving us these amazing experiences. Sometimes they feel painful and sometimes they feel pleasurable, but they're giving us these major experience or these external experiences to align us with our true soul's desire. That is in the working right now with your divine masculine very, very strongly. And again, I've never seen this come up over here on this side like I have today. That's really cool. Really cool, divine feminine. This right here is toward you and the relationship that they've had with you, or the feelings behind the relationship that they've had with you is a better way to put that, I think. But we have Ace of Gems and 10 of Shards in reverse. Both, oh wait, yeah, they're both in, are they? Yes, they're both in reverse. Sorry, it took me a minute to figure out. Yep, that's in reverse. Okay, so it's kind of funny because this one in reverse is down here, but this one in reverse is up here. So it kind of threw me off for a second. I apologize. But let's take a quick look at these cards here. So really this is Ace of Pentacles. And then this right here is 10 of Wands. So with Ace of Pentacles showing up here, there was some financial issues that may have burdened or impacted the relationship with you. I don't know if it could be that they lived far away and didn't really have the means or the ability to be able to get to you as often as they liked, or maybe you didn't have the means and the ability to be able to connect with them if there was distance in the relationship. Or they're staying in some type of a karmic situation due to financial situations. That could very well be what it is too. Sometimes we choose to be in situations that are not necessarily for our highest good because we feel a worldly attachment to them for certain types of security. And that also can, create resistance or friction to change. And then you have this coupled along with the 10 of Wands in reverse as well. So there's also an energy of they are being triggered by the relationship with you to have to look at parts of themselves that maybe they've not really wanted to look at. Because even though that intention is here, life is shifty, the mind is tricky, and we can overlook or bypass aspects of ourselves. It's the shadow side. We all have one. We all have a shadow, and it's in the shadows because we don't want to look at it. And so life, that's the stuff that life gives us. That's the universe gives us what we need part. Because when we refuse to look at our shadows, they will reoccur over and over again in our lives in lots of different situations in order to kind of force us to engage and look at them. Because until we bring and integrate the shadow into the light, which interestingly is what the dark crystal is all about. How cool is that? That must be really influencing this reading today. Until we bring that shadow into the light, we can't transmute it and alchemize it. And that's what I was really picking up on with your divine masculine. The universe is giving him these karmic situations to bring shadows into the light so that they can be resolved. It's doing it for you too, Divine Feminine. And this is really the result of, and the purpose and the true meaning, the mission between the twin flames. It's that divine guidance to elevate you and cause the ascension. You know, it's the evolution behind the twin flame journey here. And that can show up in a lot of different ways. And it can also be confusing along the way too. But if we just allow and trust and let, you know, source guide us through this, those answers are revealed to us in time. They absolutely are. So here we have 3 of Wands. This is present energy for your Divine Masculine. And with 3 of Wands, there's a teamwork, you know, there's a networking. There, to me, this card is representative of more of the same type of energy that we're seeing here. There is a whole universal, like, dance that's taking place for you and your Divine Masculine to go through these transformations that need to happen. So different people are showing up in your lives, different situations, different circumstances to teach lessons and to facilitate growth and to also support you and surround you and reflect back to you the love that you truly are within. So your Divine Masculine and you, even when you're going through difficult times, are surrounded by a network, a universe that is here to guide you and to provide for you and to give you what you need. And sometimes, again, that can show up in things we think are not good, but the universe is a loving universe and it gives us what we need to align us, to ascend us, to teach us, to help us, you know, get past the 3D world and move into the next realm. And that's what we're learning how to do. This is your ascension. It's a beautiful process, you guys. So these next cards right here are 7 of Gems and the High Priestess. Again, both in reverse. So your Divine Masculine's karmic situation is, it's kind of evolving at this point. They're looking at the situation that they're in and they're recognizing aspects of self that are not in alignment. They realize that sometimes maybe they give up too soon or they throw in the towel. That there's patterns that are, you know, kind of like, you know, like a kind of like a Mandelbrot zoom. Like the more you zoom in on it, the more detail you see, and it's a repeated pattern that creates, you know, problems that kind of show up through split energy in the field. And so they don't know, they don't understand, like they wouldn't understand the language that I just used, because to them this is more of like a 3D level of practical perspective. But we're looking at it through a spiritual lens, you know, to kind of see it from an elevated view. And your Divine Masculine is starting to recognize patterns within themselves that aren't really serving their highest good. And so they are making adjustments and changes. They've had some very clouded insight and blocked intuition. And it looks to me like they've currently still got a lot of that going on. Even though they're having some pretty interesting and big breakthroughs, there's still a lot of work to do. They're still really heavily involved in the karmic stuff that needs to come up to get them into alignment. And that's okay. There's no part of the journey that isn't relevant. Okay, every hero on their journey, which is what the tarot cards represent, is the hero's journey, which is what you're on. You're on the hero's journey. We all are. Every single one of us is the hero in our own journey. And if you think of any movie you've ever seen, there's always, the hero in that journey, and they're going from here to here, and, but all these different points along the way, positive and negative, all play a beautiful role in that journey from here to here. And so kind of think of you and your divine masculine's journey in that way. There isn't a part of it that isn't supposed to be happening the way that it is. There isn't a part of it that isn't relevant. Pain and pleasure are both two sides of one coin, okay? And they all serve a valuable purpose in our life. Now, toward you, we have the devil in reverse, and then we have 9 of swords in the upright. So the devil in reverse is representative of, leaving an abusive situation, letting go of things that don't serve you well. It's a period of recovery and joy. It can lead to just pure feelings of happiness, and that's how they feel when they are around you. There's a healing presence of your energy when they're near you. There is a light that seems to shine through the darkness there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And it allows them to let go of the trauma, at least for a period of time, when they're around you and they're in your energy. And it does lead to a very strong attraction toward you, because why wouldn't it? They feel good when they're near you. That's exactly how they should feel. You're kind of a glimpse into the possibilities of connection, outside of the self. But before connection outside of the self can happen and take place, we have to truly connect with ourselves inside first. And that's what the spiritual journey is about. And this is why the twin flames trigger each other so much. You've also got this coupled along with a 9 of swords. And so there's anxiety and grief and frustration and things that are just being triggered. Sometimes when we get into these places of feeling so joyful and so pure, it feels so good, the fear creeps in and goes, yeah, and that can give us like a clinging energy, right? A feeling of, oh, I can't let this go, or I've got to really hold on to this. This feels so good. And then we can sabotage it through that fearful of like, yeah, but what if it gets taken away from me? And we start entertaining thoughts about loss, and we start comparing it to regrets and remorse from the past, and bad things that have happened. And then we put up, walls of protection around ourselves because we don't want to get hurt. And that's self-sabotaging behavior. And my suspicion is that is actually happening between both of you. Everything that I just described as far as your divine masculine's perceptions toward you are a mirror toward what's going on within you. Okay? So you're going through that too, which I would advise you to look at that. Look at those shadow parts of yourself. If you guys haven't already, please check out our description box below. We actually have some specials going on. We have 44% off of all personal tarot readings. We also have 33% off of one-on-ones. And so it's a really, really good deal right now. We have this special going on until June 16th. It's in celebration of mothers and fathers all over the world. So, you may be a mother or a father. It's also a celebration of mothers and fathers that have, and even motherly figures and fatherly figures that may not even be our own blood, but have helped us and guided us in our lives. Parents and that type of energy, that parental energy, the universe is like that. And so we are honoring that right now until June 16th. And so we would love the opportunity to work with you. We also have group calls It's a monthly membership. It goes anywhere from $20 to $40, depending on how many calls you want per month. But those are a great way to get in and talk with us. I'm in every single call, and you get a lot of one-on-one personal information and guidance and questions and support from me and from some other just amazing people that are in the calls as well. So that is a good option. We will eventually, we don't right now, but we will eventually have a Discord, and we do right now have a Facebook group, which is private, and you'll get access to those things as well. So that's a really good value if you're looking for a network of people, twin flames that have also gone through this, that have a great mindset and are extremely loving, supportive, and non-judgmental. And a lot of them have been on this journey for a long time, so they have a lot of wisdom. That is a great and very inexpensive resource for you to be able to connect with others. So check that out. Information's in the description box below. Coupon codes are in the description box below. And please hit like and subscribe, because we want to reach as many people as we can. And it's through the support that you guys give us that gives us the ability to be able to do that. So if you like what you see here, or you appreciate it all, any of the advice that you give, we would really appreciate, just a thumbs up. So thank you. All right, moving on here. We have Page of Gems in reverse. Okay, so this is near future, potential or possible outcome. But you are the director here. So remember that this is not set in stone. Okay, because it's potential future, and your creative moment is now. So things can change. So this is not suggestive of how it has to be or should be. Okay, that part's up to you, Divine Feminine. All right, so Page of Pentacles here. There's some issues with certain parts of the journey that may arise here and there just through a lack of knowledge, but that's actually perfect, because again, the universe gives us what we need to align us with what we want. And so if there's areas that need to be looked at, shadow stuff that still needs to be looked at, the universe is going to give a lot of situations and circumstances and triggers and all kinds of things to give us opportunity to look at that. So staying in a present moment as an observer and kind of witnessing and watching what's going on, your perception of things, that's going to be very beneficial for you, Divine Feminine. And it looks to me like as you continue to do that in your own journey, the result through that mirroring effect between you and your twin flame, the same will happen for them. And it's kind of like, well, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Are you doing it because they're doing it, or are they doing it because you're doing it? It's kind of a simultaneous thing. It's a little bit of both, right? The egg, can't exist without the chicken, and the chicken can't exist without the egg. It's the macrocosm and the microcosm. You and your twin flame are the embodiment of that. So you have a very profound effect, and you can make those decisions anytime you want to kind of lift and elevate through inner alchemy, through self-reflection, through mindfulness. Those are the things that we really get into in the group calls, because there can be a lot of confusion around that, and there is a learning curve that goes with that. And we need a lot of support, because again, the mind can be quite tricky. The world can be tricky. There's a lot of twin flame traps and pitfalls that we can fall into. Again, none of them are bad, because they're all ways the universe lifts us up and teaches us. So where you're at, where you're always at, is exactly where you're meant to be, because you have to learn and you have to grow. Same with your Divine Masculine. So approaching this with a non-judgmental perspective, that's why we hear about detachment and non-attachment, letting go of expectations. That's why all those things are important. But again, there's a learning curve with all those things. So, we can help you with that. And give you support along the way and be your cheerleaders. That's important, right? We need support and love and guidance and acceptance. And, we need to feel like we're not going absolutely mad, because this journey can make us feel that way. But you're not. Okay, I promise you, you're not. So here we have the Fool, and then we have the Page of Vials. Okay, so both of them are in reverse. And so in the karmic situation, maybe there's some things that are going to come up that your divine masculine wasn't quite prepared for. They may feel a little overwhelmed by these things and start to act strangely. Maybe kind of reference back here what their underlying motivation is. If you kind of can maybe even just talk with them, if you have the ability. If you don't have the ability to talk with them, go to source for that information. That's actually the best way to do it. Because even if you have a conversation with your divine masculine and they tell you certain things, it's only through source that you'll have the discernment and the ability to find the guidance that you need. The twin flame journey, the spiritual journey, which are one and the same, are meant to cause you to go within and connect with the inner compass, the divine spirit, the divine spark within you that is, connected to the entire universe, cosmic consciousness. And you can't be steered wrong that way. Okay. Well, you're not being steered wrong anyway, but you'll take the reins that way, guide your own ship. And that's what this journey is kind of pushing both of you towards. So there could be some immaturity, some things that show up. You're going to probably witness that in the karmic relationship at some point in time. And you will feel a backlash of that toward you or between you and your divine masculine. But again, these things are showing up to teach and to show us what we need to evolve us, to be in alignment with what's for our highest and best good along the journey. Okay, this life is incredible. It really is. So allow that to happen. Don't be thrown off when your divine masculine seems thrown off, or when they seem to like pivot and turn in a direction unexpected. Let go of expectations and stay in the faith and the knowledge that the divine has got your back. Divine feminine, the divine has your back. I promise you, it does. Here we have the Hanged Man in reverse and 3 of Vials for you. This is toward you, your divine masculine. So your divine masculine is going to realize that there has been some selfishness from them toward you. Well, not just toward you, but toward everything. That there has been some selfishness. They're going to realize that some of what they even thought was good, there were selfish, undercurrents to it that they just didn't see and recognize at the time. But I think that you're going to experience some of that as well. Again, there's like a mirroring going on here. So you're going to see that some of what you thought were good intentions there was an undercurrent of selfishness there that was not seen. You didn't even realize that it was there. And that's because you're collapsing duality and recognizing and seeing, through the veil. And your divine masculine is going to have some of these moments of enlightenment as well along the way. And so because of that, it's going to create more of like a feeling of like a working well with each other. The energies are going to settle. You're going to feel good around each other. Some of the polarization is going to collapse. And this is something that can take place with them physically in your life. And it can also take place even if they're not physically in your life. It's part of the just coming to allow it to just be what it is. And so you're going to feel a peace, divine feminine, a wonderful and amazing peace about all things surrounding the twin flame and spiritual journey. You're going to have this moment of like, it's all happening for a reason, and it's all coming together for a reason, and all with purpose. It's divinely guided and inspired. And you're going to see that the universe is conspiring for you, not against you. And if it's conspiring for you, not against you, it's conspiring for everyone, including your divine masculine. So there's going to be some very serious breakthroughs that are going to lead to peace and harmony, inner union. And your divine masculine is going to experience that simultaneously with you. And if you're not hearing from them at all, you may hear from them at that time. When you have that shift that takes place, that's oftentimes when divine masculine kind of pops back into your life. You'll run into them somewhere. They'll call you out of the blue. They'll unblock you. Whatever has been going on to create that, or if there's been a lot of back and forth, and they've just been in this push pull, confusing energy, that's going to settle, and it's going to kind of dissipate and go away. There can be ebbs and flows to this aspect, though, when you get into it, okay? So don't be alarmed if there is any ebb and flow with that. But that's, I love this reading, you guys. This has just turned out to be an incredible reading for you and your divine masculine. I'm going to get you guys a quick oracle card here. And again, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and share if you guys know anyone that could benefit from this video, or this tarot reading. We would love it if you could pass it along. All right. Exposed and revealed. That's a pretty card, isn't it? Exposed and revealed. All right. The meaning behind this card is healing. It's healing shame, the imposter syndrome, letting go of self-condemnation, freedom from past unresolved wounds, focusing on self-worth, the underlying beauty in rejection. This is a good card for you guys, because oftentimes we feel rejected by our divine masculine, but we're actually never, ever rejected by our divine masculine, ever. Okay? When you experience shame, you don't just feel you've done something wrong. You feel like you are wrong, fundamentally flawed. Know that life loves you and the universe doesn't make junk, only magic. However, many social interactions, especially online, are steeped in distorted, unhealthy ways of expressing pain by shaming. Here's the way out of this. See shame as the heart-wrenching cry for help that it is. Consider whether you could have been triggered in the outer world by unresolved issues that matched all your inner pain points. If someone is shaming you, perhaps you have triggered them. How miserable they must be to expend their energy on such toxicity. They are drinking poison, hoping you will get sick. You cannot love someone out of their shame. You can only show compassion for both them and yourself. Set a healthy boundary and refuse to fan the flames. Look upon shame as an opportunity for growth, evolution, healing, and freedom. With this in mind, you can let go of your attachment to control. Admit that this emotion isn't something you have power over and surrender to a higher power. There is a sacred quality to the vulnerability inherent in admitting you can't do this alone. When you allow yourself to be laid open in this way, you gain a beautiful new perspective. Then the healed shame has the infinite power of the divine to set you free. This makes me feel like I could even cry reading that. It really, really resonates with me and hits home, and I hope it does with you as well, because it kind of shows there's so much of this in the twin flame journey. We feel so exposed and so vulnerable, but we are always held up and loved by the warmth of the beautiful universe that has surrounded us and created us in abundance. It's only sometimes our feelings of shame and guilt and fear that keep us from the divinity within ourselves. And we don't realize that it's a choice for us to be there. We think it's something that we don't deserve. And in the very belief that it's something that we don't deserve, we keep ourselves from it. And sometimes the rest of the world is quite happy to keep us there too, because that's where they're at. And misery loves company. But this journey wakes you up to that inner part of yourself that is divine, helps you to remember who you are and let go of fear and shame. And when we do that, we no longer do that to others either. You know, we become the uplifters of the world, the healers of the world. The true journey of the healer is a person that has had to heal themselves. And until you heal yourselves, you can't heal anyone. Until you love yourself, you can't love anyone. Until you do it within, you cannot do it without. As above, so below. Macrocosm, microcosm. As within, so without. Same thing. Okay? You are a creator. You are divine by your very existence. And no one could take that from you. And no thing that you've done or experienced or heard or said can take that from you either. So I hope this resonates and helps you along your journey. I really appreciate you all so much and your support of the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.